Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out on this November 1st day. My name is Joan Scheffler. I'm with the Alexian Brothers Foundation, and it is my extreme honor to act as your MC tonight to publicly thank and acknowledge these two gentlemen up here on the stage. Our honorable guest, I welcome you to Alexian Brothers and our Women and Children's Hospital, but specifically Illinois State Representative Fred Crespo and our Honorable Mayor McLeod, who is our mayor of this great city that houses our great hospital. So let's give a round of applause. I know there's lots of dignitaries in the audience tonight, so thank you so much for coming out and showing your support for your fellow colleagues up here on stage. And the families, to Joni and to Dorothy, thank you so much. Great men at your side and great women at their side. So thank you so much. So let's get on with what we're going to do today. And I would like to introduce Father Domingo to the podium. He is our coordinator of chaplains for St. Alexis Medical Center.
And Jesus said to his disciples, "Let the little children come to me, and do not hinder them. For the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as this." And he took the children in his arms, put his hands on them, and blessed them. Today we look back in our history and look forward to times yet to come. It is with joy that we are gathered here today to celebrate and thank God for the Alexian Brothers ministry and mission. Through the exercise of the core values of compassion, dignity of the person, care of the poor, holism, and partnership of the Alexian Brothers that this enterprise keeps growing. Today in particular, we remember that it is through the value of partnership that the Women's and Children's Hospital was dedicated this year. God of our being, we rejoice in the opportunity to become better acquainted with our fellow partners while finding you in them. We are grateful for the invitation to know you as the source and sustenance of our mission and our identity. We are humbled to be entrusted with the ministry and the promotion of health care in our local communities. We ask you, Lord, to guide us in this ministry and in this service. We praise you for the generous gift of life and love, and we ask for your help in sharing that love with everyone we encounter in our lives. Amen. Amen.
Thank you, Father Domingo. As all good Alexian Brothers events and meetings start, it is with a prayer and reflection, which is the very basis of what the Alexian Brothers stand for and how we care for our children here. On behalf of Brother Danny McCormick, who is our provincial for the Immaculate Conception Province, who was not able to be here, he extends his warm wishes and thanks to the two of you that they could not be here tonight, but they thank you from the bottom of their hearts. So thank you so much, and Father Domingo, thank you for your prayer and reflection. I'd like to introduce next Mark Fry. Mark is our president and CEO of the Alexian Brothers Health System.
Well, I too would like to thank all of you for coming out today and appreciate your being here. We're really here today, and Father Domingo did such a nice job of highlighting the value of partnership, because really why we're all here today is to thank two incredibly important partners, Representative Fred Crespo and Mayor Bill McLeod have really, in many ways, I'm going to talk a little bit about this, been great partners with us for a long period of time. Even though we opened the hospital in April, one of the things that wasn't really entirely clear was if we were ever going to get this hospital built. The prospects of putting this hospital together really began probably back around 2004, 2005, when the initial ideas about doing this came up. It really has been in fits and starts that we got to the point in April of this year where we were able to open the hospital at a cost of about $125 million. And so part of the issue for us was finding the resources and the partners, the strategic partners, that would help us get the work done. I think that when I look back at the work that Fred and Bill have done for Alexian Brothers, I have to say that I don't think we, number one, would have gotten this done without their support, but even more importantly in some ways is really the commitment that I think they made by the work they did of being great community members. They really in many ways, and I think we'll only really begin to appreciate this over time, are leaving a legacy behind for the community, a legacy that not only allows us to treat children in this community, allows us to do much better work in terms of treating women, but also really helped in many ways innovate in this hospital, perhaps in some ways that we hadn't really thought about before, because this new hospital really is the jumping off point for us to do a number of other things within the institution itself, create private rooms, add more ORs, so we have more surgery suites available and so forth. So Fred and Bill, I think in many ways exemplify not only the concept of partnership, but also the community spirit and the sense that we are all here together to better serve the children, the women, the patients in our communities. One of the other things that may not necessarily be clear to people, maybe you're not aware of this, is that just because we had built a women and children's hospital didn't mean we would necessarily be designated as a children's hospital. That was yet one more hurdle that had to be accomplished. And frankly, it couldn't be done without the work of Fred and Bill. If they had not both gone out and specifically legislated on behalf of Alexian Brothers to get this designation, it wouldn't have happened. And quite frankly, it would have meant that we would have gotten significantly less reimbursement for treating predominantly Medicaid patients. Most of the children who come to this hospital, probably 60%, thereabouts, are on public aid. And as a result, we are significantly underfunded. So having the Children's Hospital designation means that we get significantly more reimbursement as a result. This is a direct reflection of their leadership and their oversight and their partnership and their willingness to work with us. The other thing that you may not be aware of, and I know this isn't finalized yet, but both Fred and Bill have been working very, very aggressively, I would say, to help us get a full interchange at Barrington Road. And I know that they're probably very modest and aren't going to say anything about this, and they don't want to talk about it until it gets approved. But this is another project that has literally been years in the making. And for those of you who are in politics, you know that these things take long periods of time. But this is probably a $60, $70 million project that requires a lot of thinking and a lot of allocation of scarce resources in the state of Illinois. So for both of them to put their reputations, their time, and their energies on the line to try to help Alexian Brothers achieve something that's not only important for us, but for the community as a whole, I think really is another testimony of both of their commitment to working with us. So again, I cannot thank both of you enough, and I've tried to do that over the past couple of years when I see them and we work together in meetings, but they are two very, very special legislators, they're special leaders, they're special community-minded civic individuals who I think really, all you have to do is look around, and when you leave today, take a look at the institution. Quite frankly, had they not been here, this would not be here today. So I think I'd like to ask all of you to give them a big round of applause for everything they've done.
Yay on the ramp. That's great. That's news to me. Before we listen to our two honored guests, I'd like to read a little bio and some background on Illinois State Representative Fred Crespo. Fred is a Democratic member of the Illinois House of Representatives, representing the 44th District since January 2007. State Representative Crespo is the Vice Chairperson for the Housing, Elementary, and Secondary Education Committee and the Chairperson of the Appropriations for General Services Committee. Currently, Representative Crespo is also a member of the following legislative committees: Mass Transit, State Government Administration, accountability and administrative revenue, business growth and incentives, Illinois Board of Higher Education Performance-Based Funding Steering Committee, and the Legislative Audit Commission. Prior to serving in the Illinois House of Representatives, Representative Crespo served as a village trustee on the Hoffman Estates Village Board and was an executive with the People's Energy in Chicago. Fred was born in the Pilsen neighborhood in Chicago and attended middle school and high school at De La Salle in Puerto Rico. He graduated from Loyola University in 1980, where it was there where he met his college sweetheart, Dorothy, who's a nurse. I love those parts of this. They have been married for 27 years and are the proud parents of Jennifer, who graduated from Northwestern Medill School of Journalism, and Stephanie, who graduated from Loyola University with degrees in education and English. Locally, Fred is a member of the Children Advocacy Center, Northwest Board, Alexian Brothers Center for Mental Health Board, and the Women in Need Growing Stronger, which as we all know as the WINGS Board. So Illinois Representative Fred Crespo, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you very much, and I'll tell you, it's a lot better being here than in Springfield. Mark, thank you for the kind words. I think I missed the parts you were talking about me. If you can come here and repeat them again. Padre Domingo, gracias for the prayer as well. I want to also acknowledge my gorgeous wife, Dorothy, who's been a friend, my best friend for 35 years, my wife for 27. Dorothy, please stand up. And my little baby girl, Stephanie, please stand up. And unfortunately, my older daughter, Jennifer, couldn't make it. She's in law school at John Marshall. She's part of the child advocacy team, and they're competing next week, so I excused her, told her she can stay at the school. You know, as I look at my role as a legislator, I see two things. I think our roles as legislators, number one, is to look out for the welfare and the betterment of the state that we live in. But more importantly is that we need to know the needs of the people that we represent and the institutions that we represent as well. I try hard. I get out there a lot. I think I know. I can read my district very well. And also, something I want to point out is oftentimes we read the paper and we think nothing good comes out of Springfield. I'll tell you folks, we do have good legislators out in Springfield. We do good things. Unfortunately, sometimes you just don't hear about that. And I think what's happening here today, what we've been able to do for St. Alexis is just an example that things do happen. Some key things have to occur for us to do that. Number one, we need to know what the needs are. Number two, perhaps the most important things, we need to work together. If you look at us up here, I'm a Democrat, as it was stated earlier. Bill McLeod is a Republican. But we put politics aside, we just work together for the welfare of the district or the places that we govern, so I'm very proud of that. Sometimes we pass legislation we call low-hanging fruit, very easy to pass. This one, to do what we did for Springfield, wasn't. It was what we call some heavy lifting. And for us to actually be successful with some heavy lifting, some things have to happen. First, we have to believe in the legislation that we're working on. And for me, it was very easy. St. Alexis has been a great partner. My wife and I, we've lived in Hoffman Estates for almost 25 years. I was a trustee in Hoffman Estates as well, and they've been great partners ever since. So to me, it was an easy thing to do the heavy lifting for St. Alexis. We also have the brothers, and I think the mission of the brothers is a great thing. As a Catholic, it's very important to me. I actually was educated by the De La Salle brothers. I'm very close to brothers, period. And I think we're very lucky that we have the Alexian brothers here in the northwest suburbs. I would be remiss if I did not mention someone who was pretty much the engine behind this, someone that I could call at any time when I needed information about the hospital, things that we needed. Almost any time. She would also call me a lot too, and then I'm glad she did. And I'm going to ask Kelly Clancy if you can please stand up for a second. Mark, I'll tell you, I know you have really great staff here at the hospital, but I think this is one of your best. She understands the political landscape. She knows how to work the legislature as well. Believe it or not, we've had a bunch of meetings in Springfield and here as well, and Kelly was always there. So Kelly, thank you very much, because I think if you weren't there, I'm not sure we would have been able to pull this off. So thank you again. And finally, it's really an honor to be here and get acknowledged. I'm not used to this, actually. And I know they were asking me 3 or 4 weeks ago to submit a picture, because I guess they're going to have a picture of me here in the hospital. And initially, I wanted to send them a picture when I graduated from high school. I looked really good back then, by the way. But my wife told me it was a bad idea. But it's an honor, but what's even more of an honor, and I think is fitting, is that my good friend, the mayor of Hoffman Estates, is being acknowledged as well. Bill and I met probably like 10 years ago when I got involved here in Hoffman Estates. We have a lot of things in common, aside from being tall, dark, and handsome. We were both born in the Pilsen neighborhood. I was born like in 1898. He was born a couple years before me. Yeah. Believe it or not, at one time we both lived in Rogers Park, and here we are in Hoffman Estates. I think fate brought us together, and I have to say this, and I've said this before, that Bill and I, or at least I, have a love-hate relationship with Bill. And the reason I'm saying that is, prior to like 9 to 10 years ago, I was not active in politics at all. I was never thought I was going to run for anything. And Bill encouraged me to run for trustee in Hoffman Estates like 9 years ago. And I ran, I won. Shortly after that, I ran for this office. And I say it's a love-hate relationship because I wake up some mornings when I love my job and I love Bill. There are other mornings when I wake up in Springfield. I don't think very highly of Bill back then. But Bill, today I do love you. So thank you very much. And, God bless you all. Thank you.
We have 2 very handsome pictures that you're going to see in a couple of minutes. So.
They're both a friend, right?
No. So let me give you a little background on Mayor McLeod before we hear from him. Bill McLeod was elected to the office of mayor in April 2001 after serving as acting mayor following the passing of the previous mayor in September 2000. Previously, Mayor McLeod served as a village trustee for more than 20 years, many as a deputy mayor. His interest in government and politics began as a boy in Chicago, and that interest has never wavered. Since his election to the office of the mayor, Mayor McLeod has successfully negotiated a boundary agreement with the village of South Barrington, ending 40 years of acrimony. Mayor McLeod is a driving force behind the creation of the Star Line, a suburb-to-suburb commuter rail line, serving as chair of the Star Line Steering Committee. Electrical service interruptions have been addressed, and the village continues to work with ComEd to find and correct the problems resulting from an aging infrastructure. Mayor McLeod successfully advocated the creation of an economic development committee and served as chair of the referendum committees that brought emergency 911 service, nonpartisan elections, and the village manager system of government in Hoffman Estates. He was instrumental in the creation of the Hoffman Estates Historical Museum and serves on that committee as well. His area-wide service includes serving as a board member of the Schaumburg Regional Air Park and representing the village at the Northwest Municipal Conference, where he previously served as president and the chair of its Economic Development Committee and co-chair of the Legislative Committee. He is a member of the Transportation and Communications Committee with the United States Conference of Mayors. And Mayor McLeod serves as a director of the Joint Action Water Agency, representing Hoffman Estates for 20 years on the Regional Cable Group, and is the former director of the Greater Woodfield Convention and Visitors Bureau. Mayor McLeod and his wife Joni live in the Westbury subdivision, where they enjoy spending time with their combined 8 children, all of whom attended local public schools and universities. Mayor McLeod's hobbies include reading, walking, and history. So I welcome Mayor McLeod to the podium.
Thank you. It's a privilege to be here.
This is a beautiful facility. I remember when the original hospital was built and all the excitement about Suburban Medical Center. Look at how far it's come. I think one of the reasons is great leadership. The Alexian brothers have been doing this for centuries, providing high-quality service to people, some who can pay and some who can't, but the brothers turn nobody away. That's what I admire about this institution. Municipal government has a lot in common with the hospital. Our primary focus is public health and safety. Same primary focus of the hospital at a much higher level with much more qualified people. I'm not going to be operating anybody anytime soon, I promise you that. But the brothers have a mission. They had the mission for this women's and children's hospital also. And boy, it's a great idea. How are you going to do it? Well, look around, they got it done. And I really need to thank my very good friend, Fred Crespo, who's like a younger brother to me, the younger brother I never had. Tell you an interesting story about Fred. He came and applied to be on our Cultural Awareness Commission. So we appointed him. I made him chairman before he even went to a meeting. And after that meeting, I called up two of the village trustees and says, this guy's really something. This guy's trustee material. I was right. He's also state representative material. He's just proven very well. But you don't often come across people with the vision, the determination. This bill in Springfield, getting this done in Springfield, was another case of heavy lifting. That's basically all Fred does. He does the heavy lifting. Leadership in Springfield will give him bills that are tough to work. He'll get it done. They'll cut his legislative district and make it less democratic because they know Fred works his you-know-what off, and he'll win anyway. And he does. But this wouldn't have happened without Fred. And I want to thank the village board members who supported licensing the hospital, the village staff, and our wonderful village clerk. I also have to really thank my wife, Joni, who I disagree with you. This is a wonderful woman, a great woman with me, and I'm very grateful for that. Also, with us, some of the members of our family, we got grandson Aiden, who's playing with his car under the seat, and daughter Kelly, who's his mom, and Kurt, who's the dad, Melissa, my daughter-in-law, and Eric. They're expecting twins. And then we have Andy and Amy, who, Amy's mom works here in the hospital, but somehow she's become a member of our family too. And Jessica Lee and my nephew Patrick. So, just in closing, I would say that the one thing that Fred and I do is we're all in people. We don't dabble in stuff. If there's a project to work on, we're all in. And I think that's really what you need in government. It takes a long time to get anything done in government. You have to be patient, you get very frustrated. As my wife will tell you, I become many times less pleasant to live with, but you always got to keep the eye on the prize. Unfortunately, she's always been supportive of me and probably puts up with me when she should have kicked me out of the house. But this is a tremendous honor, and I really, to some extent, don't understand it. I was just doing my job, but I'll take the honor. Thank you very much.
Before we do the unveiling, we have one more speaker, and he is the proud president and CEO of St. Alexis Medical Center in this campus, Len Wilk.
Good afternoon, and I would agree with you, very proud. Very proud because as the president of the hospital, I get to talk to our patients and read their letters firsthand. And I know the difference that this building has made and the difference that all the effort and the hard work that these two gentlemen have put in have made. So I've got some thank yous too, but mine won't come from me, mine won't come from our physicians, mine won't come just from our employees. You know, Fred and Bill, I want to thank you on behalf of the 1,800 babies that have already been born in this building since we've opened. There are approximately 250 patients that were cared for in our neonatal baby intensive care unit that also want to thank you. And there are approximately over 3,500 patients that have visited through our center for pediatric brain outpatient service that may not realize that they owe you a debt of gratitude too, but on behalf of them, they would like to thank you as well. If we could just give these two gentlemen another round of applause. I would now like to invite Fred and Bill to stand by me at their beautiful pictured plaques. Mark, if you could join us too. And then we also thought that it would be appropriate if we would have one of our patients represent all the patients that have been served in this building. So it's my pleasure to ask Peyton Eichholz to come up here as well. Peyton?
Very nice.
There we go.
Thank you so much, and thank you, Peyton, representing all those little kids who were helped through our hospital.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. Did the grandmas get the pictures? All right. Yes, yeah, no. Oh, you want to, Mark, why don't you read it? That's a very nice idea.
Well, I hope that you can all hear me, and I hope you all come up and take a look at it. With deepest gratitude to Fred Crespo, Illinois State Representative, and William McLeod, Mayor of the Hoffman Estates, for enriching lives and helping deliver the best of health care to women and children through the services provided here at the Alexian Brothers Women and Children's Hospital. The Alexian Brothers and the Alexian Brothers Health System, our medical staff and associates, wish to thank you for your involvement and commitment which have enabled the Alexian Brothers to develop, plan, and build this new state-of-the-art medical facility to care for the most vulnerable in our society, our children. Thank you for your kindness, guidance, and partnership in helping the Alexian Brothers enhance the lives of children and families in our communities. And the quote is, "A man never stands as tall as when he kneels to help a child." Dedicated November 1st, 2013.